Okay, good afternoon. This video is on just a couple more problems, a couple more polynomials where I'm factoring where my leading coefficient isn't 1 if you're looking for additional practice in Math 102 because there's more factoring that we actually do than Math 101. So let's label this factoring where I'll say leading coefficient, which is my A, does not equal 1. Alright, so this is factoring where the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. The first thing you got to do, you got to figure out, well, what's A, B, and C. And remember, polynomial is always in the form, the parabola, the quadratic is always in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, in this problem, number 21 is on page 450 in your book. A is 8, B is 33, and C is 4. Okay, now there's two ways you can factor this. The first way is called trial and error. That's how I was taught. Now it's very hard to teach someone trial and error because it takes basically trickery, in my opinion. It's like a puzzle piece that you know it fits, but you got to figure out how it fits perfectly. So what I'm going to do is teach you the second way, which is by the grouping method. I love grouping because if you get used to doing it, it becomes routine, and before you know it, you'll move a lot faster than what you think. Alright, so the first thing you got to do with grouping is go ahead and list out your A, B, and C, just to make sure you know what it is. And remember, if this was to say minus 4, like if that literally said 8x squared plus 33 minus 4, then C would be a negative 4. Make sure to take the sign with the number. I'm supposed to be adding C, adding it. If I'm really subtracting it, then that should be a negative. In this case, I'm adding it, so you leave it as a positive 4. All right, then the next thing you want to do is get your product and your sum. So product, sum. The product is equal to A times C, and the sum is equal to B. Okay, well, so what's A times C? 8 times 4, which is 32, and the sum is 33. Great, so I got my product and my sum. Now what I want to do is I want to replace my middle term with the factors. Oh, I skipped a step. The next thing I want to do is figure out what factors of 32 add up to 33. So what factors of 32 sum to 33? And it should be 1 and 32. So 1 times 32, that gives me my product, which is 32. And 1 plus 32 gives me my sum, which is 33. Great. I need more room than I thought. Let's take this away. All right, now you're going to take these factors and you're going to replace the middle term with them. So instead of writing 33x, now you're going to write 1 times 32. And it becomes 8x squared plus 1x plus 32x plus 4. 8x squared plus 1x plus 32x plus 4. Okay? You replace the middle term with the factors that gave you the product and the sum. Now, this is where the grouping comes from. You're going to group the first two together and group the last two together. It doesn't matter what two you group together, it will all work out. But I like to be consistent, and I like to just say put the first two together, put the last two together. Make it a habit, and you always do that. Then you want to take the GCF out of the first group. So I have 8x squared plus x. What do they have in common? An x. So factor out the x, and you have 8x plus 1. Great. Now you look at your second group, 32x plus 4. What do they have in common? The 4. So you factor it out, and you get 8x plus 1. The whole goal about grouping is once you factor out each GCF, your parentheses need to be absolutely, exactly, most definitely the same. And they are. Therefore, I'm in essence going to factor them out. So I got ax plus 1. So when I factor it out, it's like it's going away, right? Let me just cross it out for a second. It goes away. And what am I left with? X plus 4. Therefore, this 8x squared plus 33x plus 4 factors into 8x plus 1 times x plus 4. Now, I was going to do another example, but I think 1 is good enough. If you need more examples, please go to my other videos where I have worked out additional problems like these.